Hello guys, how are we doing today? Um, I'm getting on here. I just want to say, do not allow what somebody else have done to weigh you down, right? And what I mean by that, like the average person say like, oh, I ain't gonna never let what nobody do towards me and to me, weigh you on me. It's easier said than done, right? Because you have these people out here. We are in the fourth quarter, as I said, and these people either are going to go through that threshold with you, or they're going to be left behind. And a lot of you guys have already got to the point where, got through the point where, y'all, every time it's like all this noise. Every time, I swear, like it was just so quiet outside. Now it's just like noise from here to there, right? But anyways, I'm gonna keep talking. A lot of us had got to and through, right? We seen we need to see, and God is doing something right now where, like I said, it's almost like secluding us, right? Where we're going through that last little bit, and God is showing us what He wants us to see. And then even sometimes it may seem that you're repeating certain things that you already been through multiple times, right? But it's like we at the last bit of it. Like God want to see how. It's almost like God want to see how we're going to respond to those things, right? And not only that, some of us had got to the point where we have mastered, and we have to now put everything that we've learned to use, right? Whether you was operating in fear, whatever that thing is for you, right? That has to be broken off. The ways of the world, the way you think, want acknowledgement from people, places, and things. All of this, all these different things, right? Breaking it comes with a lot. Even breaking down that ancestral lineage, right? I'm not going too deep off into that today. I just can't. I ain't got it in me. And so, anyways, it might be like that last lingering person, place, or thing that is trying to come into your threshold, and either God is going to show you them in a way where it's like He's going to rip their mask fully off of you to see them, right? And just because God ripped their mask off, don't mean that it's a bad thing always, right? Some people are sitting in your face and they're actually for you, and God wants you to see that, and God will rip their mask off for you to see that, right? Because sometimes when you go through trauma, a lot of trauma, sometimes God will send that person in there to show you the real from the fake. And sometimes, just sometimes, it's like it might be 1 out of a trillion that is actually for a person before they step over that threshold. A lot of times, if you meet those people back when it was that you was going through things, right? Even if God was getting you to a point where He was taking you away from everything, He might have had to use that person to get you somewhere else where it was a little bit more quiet, so you could begin to go through a whole nother, like, it's levels to this, right? It's like you start at the basics, you there with everybody, and it's like, ha, 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 everybody, family, lover, friend, right? Oh my God, right? Everybody. Then somewhere in there, it start that clicking up, grouping up, start going on. The plotting and planning goes on. It gets deeper, right? And the whole time, God might let you be blind to it. Then as time go on, you start seeing little stuff. And a little bit more time go on, and something, you might face something very, very nasty in your life, right? And then God just peel it all back, and you like, dang, God, what a time. Like, dang, right? And then time go on, and God starts unraveling storylines, people, places, things, involvements, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, la-la-la, and bang, right? Then time will go on, and you will begin to see, like, a bigger picture, right? Like, actually, people might have had some hits out on your life, right? But all while all that goes on, right, it's like you still have to heal in the midst of everything, but God will bring you out of Babylon. Like, I just came across a video, right? The best way I could put this, it was a thing about Solomon and Gomorrah came up on my phone, and what they was in Solomon and Gomorrah doing. And so basically Solomon and Gomorrah, God saved, was it Lot's family? And He took his wife and his 2 daughters, and He told the angels came before Him and said, hey, we're about to destroy this and that, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, right? We're about to destroy these things, this whole place, and I need you to go ahead and don't turn back, right? Do not turn back. And so they all left, and in the midst of it, they heard all the commotion, but the wife, like, oh my God, there's so much commotion, I just can't resist, right? And she just turned around, looked back, and she turned into a pillar of ash. And even though she turned into that pillar of ash, and Lot and his 2 daughters kept going, right? But even though God destroyed that place, even though Lot's wife, like, God saved one man out of that thing, right? God saved one person out of Well, really, just they said she turned into a pillar of salt. I think I said ash, but she turned into a pillar of salt. And so, oh my God, this man with this cutter in the middle of fall is throwing me. Ugh. So, I was saying that even though, y'all, I'm gonna have to go back here for a second, right? Then speed it back on up. A lot of times we're going into this threshold, right? I keep telling people we're in the fourth quarter. And so with us being in the fourth quarter, it might be that one last lingering thing, right? And somewhere in there, God would allow that person to come into your life because God feel like that person worth saving as well, right? Somewhere in there, it's like, okay, I'm going to use this person to help this person with their stuff, even though this person got a job to do, like heal. I got to have them do this and do that, right? It's like a big old thing that you go through when you go through these things and these different initiations by God, right? And no matter what, your protection is reliant upon obedience, right? With obedience, straight obedience. You have to be obedient because a lot of people don't understand that your life is on the line in the background when God take you to another space and place, right? That's a lot of times when you in like second going into third quarter, right? And a lot of times when you in that second going into third quarter, right, God exposing things and you might not know the full plot and plan, but you know something is wrong, right? Completely and utterly wrong. And it depends on what step that you take in the stillness that God called you to, right? Whether or not if you go left, you go fall right in the hole. If you go right, that's the right direction, right? Right is right. And so being that you went right was that person on that path that God felt was worth saving before he just turned it into Sodom and Gomorrah, just burn the whole place down. And so God is saying, hey, I need you to go this way real quick and go do this. But in the midst, I'm going to keep, I gotta feel like that person. I felt like I was craving, so he lifted me up inside. He thought I was to die for. But anyways, y'all, before God take you to the place in space he taking you to, God will take you. We're going on a trip in a, what did you say, in a something rocket ship. Da, 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 da. Little Einsteins. Y'all stop playing with me. But anyways, a lot of times when you're doing your work and your healing and all these things and God exposing and making you heal from it, because a lot of this stuff that God be showing you be sickening, right? And not only is God showing you things that's of here, he's showing you things of ancestral lineage. And as you go, right, you get bestowed things and then you got to work through that. Then you got to go come outside, meet somebody else, go back in the house, isolation. The same problematic thing keep coming through here. But anyways, it's just different levels to it, right? I just don't feel like breaking it all down. But anyways, and so while you are in your healing phase and while you're over there turning water into the wine and all these things, right? And God making you go heal and bringing you back out to go meet somebody else to help them along their journey. And then you go back into the house and you go back into shutdown, right? Into hermit, what they call hermit. It's like all these different things, but all wow, God is telling this person by your actions and showing this person by your actions, hey, bruh, sis, I need you to heal. Look at this person. I felt like he was worth saving, so I brought my people over here. I could have just let them go right on up the road and figure it out that way, but I wanted them to come your way because I felt you was worth saving. And so either that person going to do one or two things, right? They're going to do the right thing and catch on to what God is having them to do, or they're going to join the bandwagon with the enemies, right? Because one thing about it is once they step into that domain, it ain't no going back, right? Sodom and Gomorrah, they step in that lane. And what I'm noticing is a lot of people are failing their tests, right? The people who are running into God's people, they're failing. They're just utterly failing. They're just failing the test, right? Money hungry. They don't even know that by them passing their test that it's like it's wealth restored, it's health restored, it's mental health restored. They don't understand by you coming into contact with one of God's people, a lot of the things that that person healed, like the ancestral things that they had to heal, they don't even know by coming in contact with you that God was going to skip them up the line by even coming in contact with you, and that God might have only wanted that person to shield you, have a little safety. I just want this person to give my baby a roof over her head, make sure she's taken care of and treat her right, and don't turn to Sodom and Gomorrah because I'm about to burn the place down. Just do right, right? And somewhere in it, a person might start to do right, and then greed starts to creep in. What they do got and ain't got starts to creep in. All these different worldly matters start to creep in, but they don't understand is that they've been having no problems since before they met you, right? But God is like, don't worry about none of that. I'm going to skip you up the line and clean all that up for you. But all I need you to do is look out for this one right here, just for a little bit, right? And a lot of times the people, they fail they test, right? Because they got so many addictions and different things going on, gambling habits. They don't know how to keep money in their pocket. They failing at this, they failing at that, and all these things, right? A lot of times they might start off doing okay, right? And this is what I've been seeing, the pattern what I've been seeing, right? They start off okay, and somewhere in there they get caught in Solomon and Gomorrah with the rest of them, right? They hit that corner that one day, and the serpent is sitting at the corner waiting for them, like, hey, I know you got such and such over there in your house, but if you just let me do X, Y, and Z, but see, woo, la, 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 and bang, and you see, we need to come up with this parlor trick. We need to come up with this parlor trick, and if you join in and help us to join in with this parlor trick, right, then we can do this and that, and we'll give you this, right? A double slick fly's tongue, right? And a lot of times these people are too weak, and they take the devil's schemes and run with it, right? And they hold on to the devil's promises. And then somewhere in there, God will come tap his baby on the shoulder and say, hey, sweet cheeks, I need you to get your shoes on, right? Metaphorically, I need you to get your shoes on, but for real, hey, I need you to go start throwing away what you do want and throwing away what you don't want and keeping what you do want. Go on, start moving a little bit, right? Start throwing away. You ain't got to move too fast because I'm going to handle this. But I'm just letting you know that this person took the deal, right? They failed the test, and so it's time for you to move again. See, one thing about God's people is that they really never stay still and get settled because God be trying to do something with them, right? God is trying to have them to touch this and touch that. But see, we are in the fourth quarter, and with the fourth quarter, I mean that for all the people who failed their test, who sent his people into your life, and you can tell, they are just utterly different from all the rest, right? These people, how you will know too that they failed a test as well is because they will begin to accuse you. They will begin to ridicule you. You'll watch them become paranoid. And that goes back to the beginning statement. What I said, do not allow someone else to weigh you down with their guilt and their shame, right? One thing about it is when you walking next to somebody, you walk in one in unison, right? When somebody takes the deal, what happened before they even take the deal, when they start to think about it, and when you see them sitting there biting their nails and they keep staring at you and all this weird stuff, right? People, places, things, whatever, right? Even the animals. They start to get jittery, right? They trying to make up their mind, but they know the betrayal is sitting in their stomach. It's already in their gut, right? It's like God just gave me another one too about Judas. When he went and sold Jesus for some silver, right? Wasn't even nothing to go buy some land. He couldn't even enjoy it. He hung himself, right? Because he betrayed him for some silver, right? A good person and a good man, right? A person who let him in. Enemy in the camp. Fried fish, run, right? Yeah, it's not funny. I'm just saying. These people are Judas. They are Judas. It's a whole bunch of Judas. God has sent his person in, and these people are worldly. And then they already got that jealousy in their heart. It already crept in on them. It already sank in their soul before they made the final decision to turn you into the enemy, right? Before they made the decision to betray you, it's already a jealousy in them anyways. Why you putting that expensive perfume on her feet? I don't even know, bro. You sure, right? Because it's always going to be the ones around them. Why you clothing her and him and you got him some Versace cologne? He don't deserve that. She don't deserve that. They don't deserve that. That's a prostitute in a hoe, right? A home wrecker. He lay his hat from pillow to post. Everywhere he turns is his home, right? These are the lies, elaborate schemes, right? And so anyways, before they know, right, in their heart, their souls, they know that person is not that way. But because they don't want to take responsibility and accountability for their own actions, they lie and tell themselves that lie to keep themselves going, even though they know it's a lie, right? And so what they do is they know they have betrayed you, and so guilt begins to seep in. Treachery begins to sink in, right? And so you might go outside for a stroll, right? You might go take your car down the street and say, let me go look at the sky today. God, it's just beautiful out. And you will come back in, the person like, you prostitute at hoe. How did you sold that? You sold that ass, didn't ya? You sold that butt, didn't ya? You didn't ya? You're like, what you talking about, bruh? Is you all right, man? Man, God is you got to understand that these people are trying to instill guilt because of the things that they have been out here doing and how they have allowed the enemy to infiltrate their camp, right? Their mind, their body, soul, and their spirit, and some even their homes, right? They have allowed the people to come in, right? Because God will set you up and put you up to the side to do these things, right? The healing, the night sweats, the night terrors, all while you're getting these downloads and all these cool things, right? And you're going through all this stuff and redoing and doing. And God will put you up to do these things, right? And what had happened is a lot of times these people get antsy and they life start falling apart. But God like, hey, don't worry about it, bro. I got you. I just need you to allow my person to rest their head, right? When Jesus had to run out there and go do this and run and go do that, he had to go take cover here, right? Allow my baby. They don't talk about it in the Bible, but trust me, you me. Jesus had to go multiple places to go get his rest, right? And and people had to open up their doors to him for him to go from here to here to here to here, right? So they can so he can get his rest and his strength, and God giving him his downloads and then what you need to do next and what I want you to do, right? Go into hiding, right? Go get you some rest. Not necessarily hiding at that point, because I don't think but go get yourself some rest. It's levels to this. I need y'all to understand that. I need you to sit down, right? God might have went out there among the people and been out there healing and touching and healing, right? You walk into somebody and somebody might want to brush against you. Now you sick. Now you carrying. Now we got to fight. See, these people understand that we fight whole different fights. We out here healing the sick without having to touch them. See, they ain't telling people all this type of stuff, right? You got to get in the car with this, go to that workplace and go deal with the corruption inside of there. Now God like, okay, pull back, go home, go rest. I don't want you out the house. Okay, you ain't getting it, so this person gonna come say something crazy and I'm gonna have to get you up out of there. I'm gonna have to have everybody act crazy because I need you to get you go out of there. Don't get lost in that. And if I do, don't get lost in the 5D loop. Go ahead, go home, get you some rest. I'm about to upgrade you again. And then you watch this person go out the house sneaking all out the house being weird, right? Y'all like, hey, don't worry about that. I'm sorry, I got skin on my lip. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna handle that. But I'm gonna let you know the day that motherfucker slip and slide on you though, right? Hey, the day that person slip and slide on you, they get real weird. They get real weird, right? I'm trying to put it in a way where it's like right now, right? Where it's like y'all can understand in today's speed, not in back in the biblical century's speed, right? It's hard for me to come out of that because I be having like glimpses of Jesus. I be having like glimpses of where he was at. I have glimpses of what he was doing, right? I can have glimpses of his feet stepping in the wilderness, right? I have glimpses of these things, so I be having to stay here, grounded here. And so, you will watch this person. So, anywho, y'all, I'm about to get off of here because this dude is out here with the lawnmower now. Jesus Christ. Ain't no grass, look. Ain't no grass. No grass is out there. The land is not fertile. The grass is dead, bruh. Like, what? But anyways, y'all, he doing his thing too, man. He clipping the ends. I felt it. Man, it's about that money. They trying to get the last ends. I keep forgetting we at the end of the season, y'all, and the grass cutting season is over. So the people who out there cutting the grass got their landscaping business. Man, I wish I would have seen him earlier. But the ones who got their landscaping business, when it comes to like when they just do the grass like that, yeah, he is working it. It's about to be over with. So if he ain't got a snowblower, I'm gonna ask God to bless him in the name of Jesus, right? Because the next season is coming in. Leaf blower, snow blower, all of it in the name of Jesus. Hey, gotta have it. You gotta have it for when the season's coming. Period. He doing it. Honest man making an honest living. Period. You gotta respect. I'm just watching him. I'm like, Jesus Christ, all this noise. But hey, you gotta get it how you live. Forget it. And so, anyways, y'all, you gotta just be careful out here, man. Be careful of people trying to pull you down with them. God is about to take a lot of his people to different places and spaces, right? And I told y'all we in fourth quarter. So a lot of us, God is showing us the last bits before we get to moving, right? God don't want you to have guilt and or shame or to carry anything on you. God wants you to walk into your promised land weightless, right? Because these people are going to tug and pull on your heartstrings, right? But the way God about to do it is about to be like a thief in the night, right? He about to wong tong these. Y'all straight wong tong. You hear me? You about to be out here like a samurai. You feel me? You about to be moving slick, sliding, quick. God is giving some of y'all instruction. And the instruction is shush, shush, shush. And throw away what you don't want and keep what you do want, right? Order, right? You ain't got to figure out the strategy for real, right? It's been times, y'all, where God didn't show me miraculous miracles. Y'all done got in places I ain't never applied for. I done got cars I ain't had a credit for, right? But the enemy have always been working against me since I got outside, right? Since I've been walking. And God knew that. And so God just blessed me along the way. And so I'll tell you another thing as well, right? One thing that I do notice, even if the thing bless you, sometimes you can't sit up around it because you have such a presence of God's grace and mercy on you and such of a Midas touch and such of a light that you carry that these people operate in nostalgia, right? And so they'll say, oh, here, in Jesus, right? But you can't sit around it too long. Be blessed and keep it moving, right? Because even God can allow somebody sitting at a low vibration to even bless you, right? God can even allow the enemy to bless you. But sometimes you cannot sit around it, right? You get blessed and you say a blessing and you keep it moving, right? Because eventually they end up becoming like the rest of them, right? And we don't want God to have to take down the whole other town. And so behind us, right? And another thing that I was saying, right? Like Sodom and Gomorrah, when he saved them, right? God don't want us going out like that, right? Because even though that man and his two daughters made it, and God said that, told them, gave them instructions to go into the mountains, right? They end up coming up on the town, and he wasn't feeling settled, right? Because they said that he kept hearing like the screams of the people and all the commotion, right? It was taunting and haunting him. And so, but God already had told him to go into the mountains, right? But he left that next town that he ended up in, and he went on ahead and fled to the mountains. And he took his two daughters, and what's so crazy is the reason why, let me tell y'all something. The reason why God is not allowing us, his people, to take nothing with us from the past, right? Even if it's in your life right now, it cannot come. It cannot come. No, 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 no. You can say yes, 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 yes. You can say no, 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 no. It cannot come because it will taint the new life. You understand? It would taint the new blessing. It would taint the new thing I got for you. And what I mean is, like, remember in Sodom and Gomorrah when he fled to the mountains and he took his two daughters with him, right? His two daughters was tainted already from seeing all that. But it was his fault because he should have never let him go in there anyways, right? Because he was staying outside of there and got into it with his uncle because he wanted to go stay in there, right? And his uncle, like, please, like, just at least go warn my nephew, right? And it was Lot, and Lot ended up taking his two daughters, but it was his fault that he allowed them to see he allowed them to see the tainting, right? He allowed them to see that corruption. And so his two daughters, he was so messed up, right? He was drinking the wine and he fell asleep in a cave, and his one daughter raped him basically, and then the other daughter raped him, right? And they both bore children from their father. That's why God is not allowing people, places, and things, tings, to come into our new life, right? Even if it's in your current life right now. When you about to step foot out that door and go where God is about to go take you to, these people, places, and things are not allowed to go because they are not allowed to taint your new place. And that's why God is allowing some of us to see these people hearts, their minds, their souls, and their spirits. A lot of these people have been tainted. They have been tainted. They have been touched by the enemy, right? I was watching Little House on the Prairie, and what was the other one I used to watch when I was a kid? Touched by an Angel. These people have been touched by Satan's tongue. They have been touched by the city. They have been touched by your family. They have been touched by your enemies, your ex-friends, your ex-lovers. They have been touched, right? And so their mind and their spirit has been tainted, and so they are not allowed to go into the promised land with some of us, right? They just are not, right? Even if your children are of age, they're not even allowed to come into the promised land, right? They say that it is lonely at the top. But see, when you got Jesus, it ain't no alone, right? And that's why God, even before you got to the promised land, right? Before God even take you there, he stripped you of everything. People, places, and things, right? He will even allow you to see your own children's heart. Because God is not playing in this season. Won't nothing be coming up in there. And even if the dogs tainted, they got to stay behind. Everything has to stay. Anything that has been touched by the past life, the last life, God is allowing it to stay back. There's a white butterfly flying, y'all, right across my face. You see what I'm saying? Right across the motherland. I'm just saying. God is not allowing these people, places, and things who have been tainted, right? Some of these people knew that people were telling lies on you, but because they grew a heart like Judas, they grew that heart. Is a seed that is implanted, and that seed grows, right? The jealousy, the envy, and they can see who you are. It's another white butterfly. They can see who you are as a whole person, right? They see your character, your everything, but they become jealous and envious as well. Right? They start trying to place things above you. They will take little things that they have and dangle it in your face like it's a carrot. Oh, look what I got and you don't got. And a lot of these people don't feel like nothing in the inside. And so they want to take your resting place. And what God is doing, right? God will snatch everything from you to the point where you're completely unrecognizable. When you go drive down the street and your new car, right? God didn't want you having an old car to be recognizable, right? When you go down the street, they don't want you to say, hey, that's such and such. Hey, that's such and such car. No, when you go down the street, God putting tinted windows. Matter of fact, you coming about the whole city, state, and town. That's why a lot of them places trying to hold y'all where y'all at. That's why you wonder why you going through what you're going through, and they blackballing and blacklisting and doing all these things, dancing stuff to some of us, because they trying to hold us where we are. Know that once we leave, that the whole place is going up in flames, right? And it might not be literal flames, or maybe even a literal flood, but the whole place is going to stop flourishing, right? As a whole, when you go back, if you ever have to go back into that town, you might see people for the amount of damage and the amount of stuff that these people have been doing. You might be seeing them huddled around a trash can, warming their hands. The whole city and town will be chewed up, right? It would look like, what was the name of that town that Batman was from? And they would Gotham. That looked like trash. They would go down. Look, y'all. Anyways, I'm about to get off of here. And I just want to say, go get your blessing. You know, these people cannot come into the new life, right? Don't feel bad. Don't feel sorry. Some of these people have done a lot, and God had put you in a place and space to be a blessing for somebody. And then it was somebody's turn to be a blessing to you. And a lot of these people have failed the test. And now God is taking you. Oh, must be from the motherland, right? God is taking us to the motherland, honey. I got something to do. I got places to be. I don't know where God taking me to, but I know He's taking me somewhere, honey. And out of here. Might be on a spaceship. You know, I heard they was meant to fly, like Nikki said, period. All right? And so y'all have a blessed one. Don't let somebody else's guilt and shame weigh on you. These people operate in heaviness and heavy energy and nasty energy. And start paying attention to how you feel around certain people. I noticed that when I first would be around a particular person, I was cool. I was like, let's go. Let's get it. Let's go out there and get some ice cream, right? Let's go see the sun rise. But as time go on and the more this person have intertwined with my enemies, the people who have not did the healing have intertwined with things that does not serve me or them. Now this person come around and I'm jittery in my, soon I get lightheaded and I'm sick to my stomach, right? That's an energy, that's a tainted energy, right? That energy is from the swamp. You understand me? I mean, from the bottom of the swamp. I mean, they try to talk about catfish, but see, I love me a piece of fried catfish. You know, they say that catfish is bottom feeders. But you know, then the person that sit up there and say, I don't eat catfish. They said catfish is bottom feeders. You a bottom feeder too, because you're conversing with my enemies. You're conversing with Satan. You understand? And so you're a bottom feeder. So don't talk about the fried catfish. You worse than a catfish. Period. You heard me? You worse than a shrimp. Ain't that crazy how they make shrimp look like a delicacy, but they're bottom feeders? I just had this discussion with somebody. I said, I said, that's crazy. I said, I can't eat shrimp. I cannot eat shrimp. I don't mess with no shrimp. I can't eat it, right? Allergic. You understand? And I told this person, I said, it's crazy how, I'm sorry, I eat my donut. I said, well, she ghetto. Yeah, she ghetto. And she is just, oh my God. Becky. I told this person, I said, it's crazy how people treat shrimp like a delicacy. And I said, but shrimps is bottle feeders. I said they would put it up there. Shrimp is a cheap thing, right? But they will overcharge for it. Like crab legs, all that stuff. Yeah, it's like, it costs, you know, that is a kind of like a delicacy a little bit. But not really. Like, because when I see some of these other menus, what they be serving, and how much it costs, and what they said the fish should take to make the fish, and all these different things, and how they only born every so whoop depending on the fish, right? Or the ocean things. I don't mess with the ocean, y'all. I just don't. I'll go to the beach or something like that, put my foot in, but anything that's like, child, you know, anything that can wrap around my legs and put me under, I am okay. You understand? Okay. But I said it's crazy how they make shrimp like a delicacy. Like, I'm about to make me some steak and shrimp and some scampi, and like people like act like that's like a delicacy, but it's a bottom feeder, right? That's how some of y'all enemies is, right? That's how some of these people present themselves in the everyday world. They go out here and they dress up and they try to smell good, but they ain't even took a bath. They spraying perfume on top of yesterday's smell, right? They putting this on, that on, looking like this, and they straight trash underneath. They soul, spirit, everything about them is trash, right? They want to talk about the one who washing their butt every day, but you ain't washed your butt. They want to talk about the one who got on a little sports outfit for the day, right? Because I got on my, honey, I'm wearing mine, honey. But then a person go put on some Versace, right? But ain't even took a bath. Right? I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket, right? We all in need, but I ain't talking about the ones in need, because baby, I'm in need every day, right? And don't forget to subscribe, share, and like, okay? Donate. Honey, this donut was not free. These messages ain't free from the Lord. You understand? And so, God be taking me through some stuff to be out here giving out this type of knowledge and wisdom. Lord. Anyway, y'all. Let me be a lady. Let me chew, then swallow. I'm gonna go back in my house. I got to see the sun for the day. Oh, Mr. Sun, Mr. Shiny Sun, please shine down on me. Oh, Mr. Sun. You know, it's some bitter woman out here right now. So we don't play these childish games and childish things. But worried about you, honey. Whole career about to go boo. We the childish girls. I'm grown. What make you grown? That you ripping people off in the name of Jesus? I guess. Girl, bye. Y'all have a good one.